when to start.
Okay, so now the recording has started, so we can start now officially.
Okay. Let me just click on that. It's just continue. So, Om Sai Ram, everyone. I'm very, very grateful and honored and happy, and I feel very blessed by Swami to, have given this opportunity to share his love with all of you, all his beautiful children, whom he loves dearly. He is with us all the time, even more so now after leaving his body. And I would just like to start with, the Ganesh mantra, and then we can start the meeting if that is all right with you. Can I do that, Arun Bhai?
Yes, yes, please, let us start.
We'll do the mantram again if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
Om. 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 Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvighanam Kurumedeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Om Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Om Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Om Shirdi Vasaya Vidmahe Satchidanandaya Dhimahi Tanno Sai Prachodayat. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan and seek his blessings that he may speak through me and address all of you with his love. Jai Sai Ram to everyone. And first of all, like I said before, please open your hearts to the love of Sai, because Swami is here with us always, but even more so right now, because as he says, when there are more than one or two people gathered in my name, I am present. And he is even more so present today, because I can actually feel the love in your hearts. I can feel the love in you for Swami, and how you are waiting to hear his leelas. And I hope and I pray that I'm able to satisfy that yearning of yours today with Swami's leelas, with his beautiful naughty plays, his loving plays. He's our Lord, he is our beloved, he is Parabrahma, Parameshwara, Paramatma. He is Shiva Shakti, he is Narayana, he is all. He is all. And we are very grateful and very, very blessed to have been called by him. I remember one time Swami had said that all of your good karmas, all of your good deeds, all of your punyam has come together. When you come and take one glimpse of me, it's all taken, it's all finished. I mean, think about it. And he says, after that, darshan of me after that is just my grace. Because think about it, there are sages and saints sitting in the Himalayas in the olden days, how they used to do tapas for years and years and years. And after such, strong tapas, God used to come to them, give them darshan for a few moments and say, okay, what do you want? And give the boon that they were praying for. But look at us, how blessed we are. We got so many darshans. We have had, we have spoken with him. He has touched us. He has spoken to us. We have seen him. He has blessed us. What grace, what grace. And then in this time of Kali Yuga, imagine that. I mean, Just if you think of that and be in gratitude, it will give you joy, it will bring you joy, it will bring you peace, it will bring you contentment. Because one of the main things in life, if I may just start with that, and at one time Swami had said in a discourse, I was there with him for 5 years, and he said, gratitude, the most important thing that we can have in our hearts is gratitude. And he was upset because he says, no one is grateful. So if we can just be grateful today, this moment, for the grace and the love, not just of our Sai, but what he has given us. He has given us so much. Look what he has given us. The main thing, he has given us a healthy body. Look what's happening in the world today. How grateful we must be that he's protecting us. So with that gratitude in my heart and heart full of love pouring out for all of you, because I do love you. I'm feeling so much love for all of you. You have no idea. You are my family. You're my Sai family. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the opportunity. I thank Swami for allowing me to share his glory with you today. So Arun Bhai had requested me to just say a little bit about my background, which I won't say too much, but just a very short, so you have just some idea. And in between the background, his stories will come up. So it'll all be a mix. I'll start with saying that when I was 11 years old, I went to convent school, a Catholic school in India, in Delhi, born in Delhi. And my name used to be Aarti Gupta at that time. And I was in boarding school, Waverly Convent, for a few years. And I remember sitting in the chapel praying to God when I was about 11 years old. And I used to ask God for just two things. I used to ask him, I used to say, God, I know that when you were here as Krishna, I was here. And I also know when you were here as Christ, I was here. And I feel in my heart, this 11-year-old, saying, I feel in my heart, God, that you are here on this earth. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you are. But wherever you are, please, please call me. Please call me, God. And the second thing I used to ask for is chocolates. So it was God and chocolates. These are the two things I asked for. And that was it. And then basically in 1968, when I was giving my senior Cambridge exams, I was back in Delhi, and I had this, I always, we used to have these street singers used to come by and used to sing bhajans, and I would call them in the house and feed them and record their songs, etc. So one day, my neighbor, Munshi auntie, she called me and she says, there's a sadhu, a saint, holy man who's asking for you. He's calling you, so come. So she sent word for me. I came running down, and she thought maybe I knew him. But when I came down to her house, it was, I didn't know this sadhu. He was very tall. He was wearing white clothes. He was wearing the safa, and he had a white beard. And he had this white pouch hanging, and he had this, the thing like Shirdi Baba. And so he was standing there, and he asked me, he blessed me, and then he asked me, he says, what do you want? And I said, well, I was very nervous for my senior Cambridge exam. So I said, I want to pass with the first division so I can go to a good college. So he smiled at me and he says, okay, bring me 2 rupees. So I ran back to my house and I brought 2 rupees. I gave him 2 rupees. And then he gave me some bhasma. I don't know what is vibhuti or udi those days. So he just gave me some ash. And he told me to put it on my forehead before going for my exams every day. And he gave me some mantram, which I don't remember. And he blessed me. And he says, you must do this every day. And I said, okay. And he blessed me, and smilingly, he went off. Then I did that, for that 1 week of exams. And sure enough, I literally squeaked by the first division, literally with 1 point. And I went into a good college. So it was later on that I found out when I went to, I won't tell you this right now. So then what happens is in 1972, one day, I will now share with you how Swami called me, how I met Swami. In 1972, my mother said to me one day that there is a holy saint coming in Delhi, in modern school in Delhi. And so she wanted to go and she asked me to come with her. So, okay, I went with her. And I was just sitting on the, it's a huge cricket ground, 100,000 or more people there. And we reached a little bit late. And so, they made us sit on the dari somewhere in the back. And we were sitting there. And when I looked ahead, I saw on the podium, there was this holy saint standing there. He had afro hair and he was wearing an orange robe. I had no idea who he was or what his name was. I just came with my mother. And so as I'm sitting there and I looked at him, the sun was shining, and it was just the sun in his hair, and the way the sun shone on his robe, it just flashed, and I just got almost blinded. I was just watching, and then all of a sudden he went on the microphone. So in those days, Swami used to start his discourse with a bhajan. Later on, he used to end his discourse with a bhajan, but in those days, he used to start with it, bhajan. And the first bhajan he sang was Prema. Prema mudit manase kaho Rama Rama Ram. We all know that bhajan. And as soon as he said the word Prema, when his voice came over the microphone, to me, Prema is everything. It's love. Love is God. God is love. The essence of the Vedas is love. So anyway, when he started singing, when I heard his voice, something happened to me. I almost kind of started trembling, and I said, I know this voice. I know this voice. I just knew the voice. I recognized the sound vibration, you see. Everything is sound vibration. It's the Nada Brahman. So I heard it and I said, oh my gosh. And as I said, I know this voice, I know this voice, I literally, my eyes closed and I went into you can call it anything. You can call it a trance, you can call it this or blanked out or whatever. But all I know is that I was gone, completely gone. That's it. The next thing I knew, after quite a while, I think, now my mother is shaking me. And she's saying, get up, you fell off to sleep, it's all over. And I open my eyes and I see that, yes, he is gone, and there is people, most of the people have almost left, and people are leaving. And I was still kind of a bit shaky, and I was in a stupor. I was just didn't know what was happening. I was in a different world at that time. And I said to my mother, we were waiting for the driver to come and pick us up. He was late because there were so many people, big traffic jam. And so I said to her, I just needed to be by myself. I said, I'm just coming, just wait here. I just needed to be by myself. So I walked away a little distance. This is a cricket field now. It's an open cricket field, no shrubs, no trees, nothing. So I walk away a little distance, and it's dusk now, and I'm just still lost in this voice that is just haunting me. And I'm wondering what is going on. I'm very young, and all of a sudden, I hear a rustling sound behind me. I thought maybe it was, some animal or something in the grass or something like that. So I just turned around behind my back. As I turned around, I saw a very, very old lady. Very old lady. She was kneeling on the ground. So I thought she had fallen on the ground. So in Hindi, I said to her, Auntie, may I help? I'll say it in English. I said, Auntie, can I help you up? And she looked at me. She just looked up at me like that, and she pointed to me. She says, Leo, beta, Leo, take, beta, take. And she's pointing to the ground, to the grass, to the mud. And I look at her and I say, Kya Leo? Like, what should I take? So she says, Vibhuti. I have no idea what is Vibhuti. I've never heard the name. I don't know what it is. So I asked her, I said, Vibhuti kya hoti hai? What is Vibhuti? I asked her. And she looks at me impatiently, like I'm asking too many questions, And so she just looks at me like, Leo, jaldi, take, like that. So she's elder to me. I don't want to offend her. I said, okay, and I just wanted to obey what, just to do what she's saying. I bent down and I started digging the mud. There's nothing there. There was only mud and grass. So I started digging the mud and the grass, and I took out some mud in my hands, and I took it out and, lifted my head up to show her. And when I stood up, it was just a few minutes, hardly, and I looked up, and when I stood up, there was nobody there. There was nobody there. I was like, what is going on? I shuddered like this. And then I opened the palm of my hand, and what I see in the palm of my hand is ash. I did not take out any ash from the ground. I took out mud and grass. I got scared. I was, I didn't know what is going on. So I said, oh my God. I said, I better get back to my mother. First the voice, now then the lady, I don't know where she's gone. And now this ash in my hands. And I just lifted my hand up I was just lifting my hand up to throw it away and brush my hands and just go to my mother. When all of a sudden, from a distance, not too far, maybe like 30 yards or so, I saw a lady walking towards me. And I thought, oh, I'm not losing my mind. It's the same lady. She's coming back to me. So this lady comes closer to me. And it's not her. It's Bharani auntie. Bharani auntie, I don't know if any one of you know her. She was the mother of my best friend in school. My best friend was Mira Bharani. And this is Bharani auntie walking towards me. And so it's a familiar face. Familiar face. So my hand just stopped in midair. And I started looking like, oh, Bharani auntie, what is she coming here towards me? She walks up to me and she looks at me and she says, she's surprised herself. And she says, Aarti, beta. And then she asks in Hindi, but I'll again say it in English. She says, what are you doing here? What are you doing here alone? So I said, oh, auntie, I came here to see, I didn't know his name. So she says, oh, Sai Baba. I said, oh, his name is Sai Baba. She said, yes, it's the first time I heard Swami's name. And she said, yes. And then she said, but what are you doing here alone? I told her, my mother's waiting. We're waiting for the driver. She was satisfied. And then she comes close to me and almost as if, to give me a secret, she whispers in my ear and she says, beta, kuch pata hai, like that, meaning, beta, do you know something? And I replied back to her, no, auntie, what, auntie? Even I whispered back to her, like, what? And she says to me, whispering, as if there's nobody there, but she didn't, as if nobody should hear, it's a big secret. She tells me, there are 4 or 5 people here who have found vibhuti in the ground. I say, vibhuti is the same word again, vibhuti. I look at her and it's still in my hands with the grass. So I open my hands and I say, auntie, ye? And she is, I have never seen someone just go almost like crazy. Where did you get this? What is this? She wanted to know everything. I told her this is what happened, all this is, and I was very confused. I said, but auntie, who's that old lady? Where did she go? What is this? What's going on? I don't know, She says, no, beta, that was no old lady. I said, who was it, auntie? She says, that was Sai Baba. Sai Baba? I said, who is Sai Baba, auntie? So she says, beta, Sai Baba is God. Sai Baba is God, auntie? Yes, beta, this Sai Baba is God, she told me. I said, okay. And then she says, you eat this vibhuti. I said, no, I'm not eating it. It's on the ground. So she took some of it from my hand and she said, see, I'm eating. So she took some in her mouth and then very gingerly, I took some and I put it in my mouth. And it tasted like chalk, I said, okay. She took out a piece of paper from her purse and she took it and she put it in the piece of paper and she folded it up. And she says, isko bahut sambhal ke rakhna. Keep it very, very carefully. Okay, auntie, I said, And I didn't know what was happening, in that moment. And, then I walked back with her to my mother, but something had happened to me. It was like something happened. And I kept wondering, who is Sai Baba? Who is this? Who is he? Why is he doing this? Why did he choose me? Why did he give me this vibhuti out of 4 or 5 people and 100,000 people? What am I supposed to do something? What am I supposed to do now? I had no idea, And then I went home and another 1 or 2 days, I forgot all about it. When you're young, it's like, okay, I forgot. The vibhuti was in my almirah. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I have a dream. I get a dream. And in the dream, it is just shunya, void. Nothing is there. Nothing is there except the voice. It's an akashvani. It's the cosmic voice. The voice comes from the void. It's just coming. And it says 3 words 3 times with it like an echo. It says, come to Puttaparthi, come to Puttaparthi, come to Puttaparthi, 3 times. I woke up, it was about 6:30 in the morning. Puttaparthi, what is Puttaparthi? Where is Puttaparthi? I live in Delhi, North India. I have no idea what Puttaparthi is. I had never heard the word, never heard the name. It's a South Indian name, which I have no idea about. So my cousin sister's sleeping on the next bed. I shake her up and I say, hey, wake up, wake up. Do you know where is Puttaparthi? She says, what nonsense, sounds like Timbuktu. Go back to sleep. What's wrong with you? You know, I mean, no, there is a Puttaparthi. It's too powerful. I wasn't told where in the world it was. It could have been America, Africa, India, where, I have no idea. Just Puttaparthi. So next couple of weeks, I'm asking everyone, do you know any Puttaparthi? Do you know Puttaparthi? No, it's a figment of your imagination. There's no such place, you know. But I know there's something inside of me. One day, my father's secretary had come to the house to get some documents signed from my mother. And her name is Mrs. Rao. She's from the south. So as usual, I asked her also. I said, Mrs. Rao, do you know any place called Puttaparthi? She looked at me. She said, very casually. It's in South India. Sai Baba lives there. What? What? There is a place called Puttaparthi. I took her hands and I was swinging her around in a circle. She thought I'd gone mad, you know. And what I was saying was, my call has come, my call has come. God has called me, God has called me. If you remember, as the 11-year-old, I used to ask God to call me. I said, wherever you are, call me. And what happened? I was called. It was just a call. Come to Puttaparthi. I knew it was God calling. I asked her, I said, how do I get there? So she told me it's a 3-day journey, 2 nights, 3 days, and you reach White Bangalore. And then there is, in those days, 72, there is, you have to go by bullock cart. It'll take you 5-6 days. If you're lucky, there is one bus going to Dharmavaram, and from there you can, that takes about 8-9 hours if you're lucky to catch that bus and all that. I'm like, okay, fine, I will go there. So I won't make the story very long, but, my father didn't give me permission, of course, to go alone. And, but my mother did. So I took my cousin sister and my younger 11-year-old, and I got all my pocket money together because my father had said no. So I didn't know where to get the money to buy the tickets. So I got all my pocket money together, and I could only get tickets in the second class in the train. So I got these tickets in the second class train, and the day we were leaving, then my mother, I said, I'm going, etc. So she gave me a little bit of money at that time, I said, I'll be back in a week. And so we went, and now we're sitting in the train. And after about half an hour or so, I feel a little uncomfortable. And I say, my God, am I doing the right thing? I'm just a girl, and they're 2 young, girls. I'm taking them with me. I hope we'll be safe, because I saw some strange men looking at us, and I got really worried. And so I looked out the window of the train, and I started talking to Sai Baba. I said to him, Sai Baba, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I have no idea. All I know is that you have called me. I cannot stop myself. It's too powerful. I am coming. I'm coming to you. But please bring us, 3 of us, safe and sound to you. Please bring us safely to you. And I said that, and I just kept quiet, and then I got lost in the train. About half an hour later, I hear the sound of bhajans in a train. Okay, I hear the sound of these bhajans. I have never heard bhajans like this before, but they're beautiful. And with me, I have always been very fond of that. As I said to you, I used to call the street singers and take their bhajans and all that. So when I heard these bhajans, I wanted to go and see who was singing. I wanted to just kind of be there. So I told my 2 siblings, I said, just wait here, I'm just coming. And I started walking towards the bhajans. And I walked towards the bhajans, and I walked to the end of the bogie of the train. And when I reached the end, I get the shock of my life. What do I see? I see Bharani auntie, I see Sarala auntie, I see, what's her name? I'm forgetting. And another auntie who became the warden of Swami's school. And I see all these aunties who I know and my school friends sitting there, and they're singing these bhajans. And they're shocked to see me in a train just out of the blue walking towards them. And I'm shocked to see them. And what are you doing here? I said, what are you doing here? And they said, and I asked them, what are you doing? Where are you going? And of course, where were they going? They were going to Whitefield, to Swami, for the first summer course in 1972. And then I told Auntie, Varani Auntie again, see? And Behel Auntie is the one. Behel Auntie is the third one, who became the warden of Ishwarama School. So then I told Varani, she says, you are alone? I said, yes, Auntie, we were so worried. And this, she says, oh, come, join us. I ran back. We got our luggage and everything, and we joined this is the Delhi group. The Delhi students, the Delhi group who had registered for the first summer course. See how Swami brought us together. You know, when I went to get the tickets, I could have got a ticket in any bogie, but he made sure the tickets were in this particular bogie, and he knew he was going to have me meet them, and how he brought us safely to Whitefield. We came to Whitefield, and then there are many miracles that happened. How Swami, I won't go into too much detail on that, but how Swami brought my sister and me into he gave us observers passes. So we were able to attend the summer course of 1972, half of it, not the full, but half of it. And those days it was amazing because that allowed us to go inside. We used to sit and eat with Swami every single day. And Swami used to come every day while we were eating. Look at the humility. Look at the Lord. He teaches us, like he says, my life is my message. And this message, while we are eating and we are in duty, in our plates that are eaten, Swami used to come by and he used to put laddus into our plates and our duty plates, and then, bend down and putting in each and every, all the students and all of us. And then he used to sit on a small table in front of us and eat his food with us. And then, like I said, a lot of miracles happened, which I won't go into. But then and then I knew that there is Puttaparthi. He had called me to Puttaparthi, but this is not Puttaparthi, this is Whitefield. And again, many things happen. I'm writing my book right now, which you'll all get probably by the end of the year, where all the details of all the miracles that happened are there. And then, yes, of course, he took us to Puttaparthi. I went to Puttaparthi with both my sisters, and with the Delhi group. Bharani Auntie took us, of course. And then, of course, we had the first interview. And guess where we slept? Because in those days, there was really nothing. There was not much accommodation, etc. So we slept in the mandir. Imagine, for a whole week, we slept in the mandir, and Swami used to come in the morning and used to be standing on the inner balcony. And we used to open our eyes and look up, and there was Swami standing, looking down at us and kind of telling us to wake up. I mean, think about it. It's amazing, living in the house of God with God, I cannot imagine, you can't imagine. And those days, it's sad, but when you're so young, you don't even realize what you're really getting. I couldn't understand or realize what it was. Now I say, oh my gosh. And then in those days, in the interview room, these days, Swami, there are two interview rooms, the main room, and then he takes us into the private room. But in those days, there was just one room, and the private interview room was behind a curtain. There was a curtain, and there was a door, and between the door and the curtain, there were two steps. And you would just go behind the curtain, and Swami would stand. You would be on the head. He would make you stand on the step, and he would stand on the floor with his back to the curtain, and he was almost like maybe 6 inches away from you, almost touching you, and he would give you the private interview. And so he called my sister and me in together, and he said a couple of many things, and then he said, "Jao, Swami saath mein hai." He put her hand in mine, because that meant we were supposed to go together wherever. I had no idea where. And he's, "Jao, Swami saath mein hai," meant, go, Swami is with you. And when that interview happened, I was wondering, where does he want us to go? Where does he want me to go? But then again, you forget about it. Not forget, but it was just at the back of my mind. Went back to Delhi and, got into bhajans and everything. And then in August, this is now in 73, a year later, my father, he was a businessman in Delhi. He had plastic factories and all that. And so he was starting garment import export. And so when he started the garment export import business, me being a girl, he said, "Come, you join me and, help me with that." So, all right. So he was going to make his first trip to America. He was coming to New York. And so when he made his first trip to America, he took me with him. He brought me with him. And so, I went with him, helped him seeing all the buyers and this and that. And took me to Disney World and all that. Came back, and when I was sitting in the airplane, and there were tears rolling down my eyes, and I was looking down, not crying for a person. This is really strange, but I was crying for a country. I was crying to America, to New York. It's very strange. And I was crying, and I said, "Don't worry, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Don't worry." I was telling a country, And anyway, I went back, and then about 3 months later, I came back with my sister, my cousin's sister, for a holiday, for a vacation in 73 October. And I'm going to go very fast now. So basically, a lot of things happened. We came, and little adventures. We lost our money, and then Swami, how he did this and that. And finally, I opened a corporation. So I became a CEO at the age of 24, and I had my office in Broadway. That's where Girish Bhai came, and we were holding, Sairam. And so I took the bhajans in Manhattan in those days were held in a warehouse in Lower Manhattan, and then they came to my office, and then they went to Harry Patterson's office after that. So a lot of miracles happened. In fact, Swami sent me a telegram there also. And so these things were there. We were in New York for a long time, like I said. Now there is one story I would like to share with you, very powerful story, where this story, if anyone has any doubts about Swami's divinity or him being the Paramatma or God, that should be dispelled. It will be dispelled. So I will share this story with you. In 1987, we had come to California by then. And in 1987, what happened was that I had a dream. Swami was coming to me in dreams constantly. I would not do anything without Swami's permission. Nothing, zero. Even in New York, all the time with the garment business, there's, like I said, a lot of things are all in the book. Many, many miracles. Met beautiful Sai devotees. Faith is there, one of them, and Girish Bhai is there, and many more. And so anyway, so we were everything Swami. My life was Swami by now. I breathe him, I eat him, I sleep him. Everything is Swami. That is now. At the time of Aarti, it wasn't that much, but it was very, very much. Aarti was still, and I say Aarti was, but I'll tell you why, because Aarti died and I was reborn. It's a Punarjanma. So anyway, this is 1987. We had attended a wedding. This was a Friday night. We had attended a wedding, and it was Saturday morning that Swami came in my dream. And in the dream, this dream was in India, in Delhi, where I was born. And basically, Swami came to me over there. He says, "Come, let's go." And I said, "Okay." So I started going with him. And we went to the driveway of the house, and there were two dead bodies lying in the driveway of the house. And I started taking pictures, and he's waiting patiently. And then he says, "Come on, come on." And then I went with him, and we were walking in the astral. We were walking, and he's talking to me. I don't remember what. And then suddenly he says to me, he says, "6 days after the wedding, I will come and take your brother away." I look at him. By then, I had brought my 13-year-old brother to the US. When we moved to California, I had brought him, and he was living with me. And so there was my cousin sister, my younger brother, and myself. And so he says, "I will come and take 6 days after the wedding, I will come and take your brother away." And I said, "Oh, do you have to?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, will you be with him?" "Yes." "Will you be with me?" "Yes." "Okay." And then he talked a little more. I don't remember. And then he turned around, and then he turned around, he was walking away. I'm looking at him, and then he puts his head over his shoulder, like turns back towards me. And then he says, "By the time you get there, he will be gone." And I woke up with that. I'm like, okay, I got really worried. I thought it was my brother. Dhruv. And I thought it was my brother, and he's an 18-and-a-half-year-old going to school. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's going to die in the next 6 days, because the wedding we had attended, he said 6 days after the wedding. So I figured on the 7th day, he's going to die. So I tell him, I say, Bhaiya, in the morning when he's going to school, come to the puja, give him vibhuti. When you go to school, give me a call, all that kind of stuff. Oh, he says, I want to go with my friends in the evening to play bowling. No, I have a lot of work for you in the house. You come back. Didn't let him go anywhere. For the next 4 days, we're doing this. On the 5th day, I said to him, I said, Bhaiya, don't go to school today. Take a holiday. So poor kid, he looks at me and he says, Didi, something very wrong with you. You've been behaving very funny these last 4 days, very strange. You're the last person who tell me not to go to school. Why are you telling me not to go to school? Something is going on. Please tell me. So I thought, okay, I better tell him. I said, okay, Bhaiya, sit down. He's younger than me, but I still call him Bhaiya. I said, sit down. I told him. The poor kid, he just kind of was stunned. He was in a bit of a shock. But, he believed. He said to me, he says, thanks a lot, Didi. I have only 2 days to live and you're telling me now? It's like I had taken away 4 days of his life, And I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. He says, yeah, okay, I won't go to school. Bichara, poor kid, he says, okay. He just said, I won't go to school. This was the 5th day. Same day, I kind of am wondering, so my sister calls me from India, a younger sister, the 11-year-old whom I had taken. And she says to me, she says, oh, Didi, Papa, my father, he had a heart attack a few days ago. He was in the Heart Institute, but he's perfectly fine now. He's coming home day after tomorrow. And I say to them, oh gosh, why don't you tell me? She says, no, we didn't want to worry you, this and that. It's okay, fine. I called his doctor. I spoke to him. He says, no, don't worry. He's in perfect health. He'll be back day after tomorrow. I said, okay, fine. 6th day after the dream, I wake up. I'm sitting in my puja. I'm praying to Swami. And Swami says to me in my head, go to India now. It's your father. What? Why did you confuse you? Why didn't you tell? Why did you say brother? I asked him. Well, he said 3 reasons. One, once you started your garment business, once you started business, I was doing business with my father in India. He was an exporter. So I was, he says the relationship changed. And when you came to me, you made me your father. I'm your father. You see, I cannot say your father is going because he's my father. And it was almost like a brother relationship with my father had become. And he says, in a past life, he was your brother. The third thing he said to me, which really struck me, was, he said, remember, I told you, by the time you get there, he will be gone. You're not destined to see him. I had to confuse you. Oh my God, I said. Okay, Swami. Quickly, I called India. I called, first of all, before calling India, I called the airlines. There was this is May, summer, there's no tickets available. But anyway, I got 1 seat on British Airways. I called my younger sister on the phone and I said to her, I started telling her, I said, look, do one thing. Because my father had a lot of properties and all that. I said, if he has any papers to sign, any documents, etc., please ask him to sign all these, play bhajans, if he has a will, all these kind of things I'm telling her. And she says, why are you saying all this? And very innocently, because Swami had said, and that's law, I said to him, I said, because he's going to die tomorrow. What are you saying, Didi? Don't say things like that. She started crying, I said, why are you saying that? I said, beta, Swami, Baba, Aarti used to call him Baba. Baba came and told me this. So she said, no, I don't believe it. All this, I called her husband, told him the same thing. He didn't believe either. I said, okay, can I speak to your father? My sister's father-in-law. He's a very calm, very decent, calm person. And he had a lot of regard and respect for me. And I said to him, I said, Uncle Ji, this is the thing. My father's going to die tomorrow. And so I want you to do me a favor. So he said, beta, nothing's going to happen. I said, it will. And he says, but what do you want me to do? I will do whatever you ask me to do. I said, I want you to keep his body for me. because in India, within 4 or 5 hours, the body is cremated or taken away. So I said, whatever happens, because of the time difference, I've got a ticket, I'm leaving tonight. But because of the time difference, I'm going to miss him by 1 day. So I want you to keep his body for me. And he says, nothing is going to happen, beta, but if it does, I give you my word, his body will be there. Okay, I said, fine. I went to, there's an Indian store in Berkeley. I went there to buy a white Punjabi. I didn't have a white Punjabi. So I knew the store owners over there. And I'm looking for white. He comes to me and he says, why are you looking for only white? And he knows me very well. He's had some miraculous incidents with me, so he won't say much. And so I said, I'm looking for white because I don't have any white clothes. Why do you need white? He says, take this color. I said, no, my father's going to die tomorrow. I didn't really mean to say it. Was just coming out naturally from me. I was young, So, and I don't have white clothes to wear. Who told you that? He said. I said, God told me. Who God? Which God told you? He said, Sai Baba. Sai Baba is not God. I said, yes, he's God. Anyway, so I took my white salwar kameez, Punjabi. And now it's 6 o'clock in the evening, Friday evening, I get onto the airplane. I get onto the airplane and I told the air hostess, I said, please don't disturb me. If I want to eat something or whatever, I'll ask for it. And so she said, okay. And I have a window seat. So I put the food table, the tray down. I put my hands like this on the tray. I put my head down on the tray. And for the next 3 hours, literally 3 hours, non-stop, without raising my head, all I was saying was Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. You don't know the power of Sai Ram. I will share an incident with you when I was in the Himalayas, how the power of the name, the word Sai Ram saved my life. So I'm just saying Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. And I'm sure you know, I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm sure all of you know the power of the name. But I will illustrate it further. And I'm saying that, and about 3 hours later, I feel someone's hand on the back of my head, just caressing my head 6 times. And the tears start coming down my eyes because I know this is the hand of my father. We all know, a parent's hand. And I know that he has left. So I very slowly lift up my head and I look outside the window of the airplane. And the tears are rolling down and I say, okay, Papa, you've left. Swami, he's gone. And next moment, you'll be amazed to hear what happened next. There was literally a flash of lightning in the sky. It was night outside. There was a flash of lightning in the sky and I saw a big giant hand with an orange sleeve in the sky. And in the palm of his hand was sitting my father. He was sitting with one knee down and one knee up. And he was looking at me. Swami had brought him to me. And I looked at him. It was like I said bye-bye to him and he said bye-bye to me in the sense, just with a look, just for a few seconds. But it was done. And Swami also brought him to show me, see, I told you, I will go and get him. See, I went to get him. I went to show me that he's with me. And next second it was, it vanished. But now the tears were coming, not for my father anymore, but in gratitude and love for Sai, for our mother Sai, for the love of Sai. Because I knew that my father is in the best hands. I don't have to worry about him. I was just in gratitude and crying in gratitude to Swami, to Sai. 2-3 hours later, I reached London airport. It was a direct flight from California to London. So I went and I called my brother and sister and I said, what time did the call come? They said, how did you know? I said, he came to me. They said, he came here to us also. I said, what? How did he come to you? What happened? So they said to me that about 3 hours ago, the call had come. Paul uncle had called them and said that father had passed away. And she said, my sister said that when my brother Gul, when he heard that it was my father had passed away, he just broke down. He literally broke down because he thought he was going to die. First of all, think about that. He thought he was going to die. And then he hears that his father has died. And he was like in shock. And then he started crying and crying and crying, uncontrollable. And he started saying, it was April 22nd, this happened on May 9th. So April 22nd was father's birthday, and he had spoken to my father. My father had told him, why are you not writing to me? I want you to write to me. You haven't written to me and all that. So he's crying, and he said, I have promised I'd write to him. I have promised I'd write to him. I wanted to tell him that I love him. I was not able to tell him that I love him. Please, please, all of us, if you love someone, tell them, don't wait. I wanted to tell him that I love him, and now I can never tell him that again. I can never say that again. So my sister said, yes, you can. We were very completely into Swami. He's in our blood. Yes, you can tell him. How can I tell him? She's right, because we used to write letters to Swami all the time. Write your letter, write your letter. Write your letter to your father. Whatever you want to say to your father, say to him. Write it. So he wrote his letter, and they sat in the puja, in the altar. They're sitting in the puja. There is, they're all, the puja altar is there. In the center, there's an 8x10 picture of Swami. And on the left-hand side, there's a small candle, like those little tea light candles, but a little bigger than that, in a glass holder, thick glass holder. So they sat over there, they folded the letter and put it on the right side of the 8x10 picture, and they lit the candle. And for the next 15, 20 minutes, they sat and they're just singing bhajans to Swami. They're singing bhajans, and they're crying. They're crying and singing and crying and singing. The next minute, what happens is that on one side of the candle, the glass breaks. The glass broke by itself, and the flame in the candle, it rose up. Now the flame of the candle should go on the side where it's broken, but the flame went across the 8x10 photograph picture and burnt the letter. That's all it burnt. The flame in the candle burnt only the letter. That's how he came and received the letter. So, and then when I reached India, everyone is asking me, how did you know? How did you know? I said, well, all I could say was God told me, Sai Baba told me. And sure enough, that uncle had kept my father's body, because he left on, in the morning, Saturday morning, and I reached there on Sunday. And so the whole thing was done. And the other thing, the final thing to this story is that when we went to the cremation ground, women are not allowed to go the next day, when the body is cremated, the son of the family goes the next day to pick up the bones, we call them flowers, and put them away. Then they're taken to the Ganges, with prayers and all, then they're put away, sent away. So I wanted to go because I knew that my father needed me to be there. He wanted me to be there. And so I was allowed. And I went there, and this is amazing, because you can't imagine what it feels like when you are going through the ashes of your parent. I was literally communicating with death. And I experienced the mortality of our life. And as I was speaking, first of all, before that happened, I found his Atmaram. Many of you may not know what an Atmaram is. Atmaram is a bone in the cervical, the third cervical, C2, it's the C2 in the back, which looks like a human being sitting in meditation. Okay, it looks like a human being sitting in meditation. And if you look at the atlas bone, I think, if you Google it later, you can see. And I found that bone. I had no idea what it was, but it was so beautiful. I picked it up and I put it in the palm of my hands. I have a photograph of it, and palm of my hands. And I was just looking at it because it was just so beautiful. It was almost speaking to me. And the priest who was sitting there, he saw it, and he got very excited. He says, "Oh, aapko Atmaram mil gaya, Atmaram mil gaya." Meaning you found the Atmaram, you found the Atmaram. I said, "What is Atmaram? I don't know, He says, Atma is Atma. We all know what Atma is. And Ram is the name of God. So he says, this is where the soul, your prana, the life force resides in the body, and for you to totally understand that is that, when someone is in the olden days, when they used to hang people, what happened? They used to put the rope around the neck. So when you put the rope around the neck and you pull the neck, that's where the life force is. when you pull the neck, the life force leaves. And the Atma Ram, this bone breaks. It breaks and the life force leaves. So I said, but he was getting very excited. So I said, well, why, okay. So he says, 75% of the time when you find the Atmaram, you can't find it, first of all, because it's burnt. It's a very delicate bone, very like porcelain it is. It's not a thick bone, very, very fine. And so it's not found, and about 20% of the time, if it is found, it's broken, it's a little damaged, you can just barely make out. But this was almost like a brand new Atmaram. It was brand new. There was just a slight light brown shading in the heart area. He had had a heart attack. And so I said, what does that mean? He said, that means he was a very noble soul. And the second thing, which really amazed me, he says that he left his body very peacefully. There was no fight to leave. And I said, oh my God, definitely that means Swami again showing me, see, I went. Because my father was not ready to die. He was only 59. He had his businesses. He had a lot of things going on. He was not ready to die. And he would have fought. He would have not wanted to leave. So Swami was showing me that, see, I went there. The Swami must have gone there and made him see, everything. Made him realize, his reality, who he is, the Atmic Swarup. And so he left very peacefully. And that's why the Atmaram was intact. So then after that, they put it away, especially in a bag and all that. So then I'm playing with this, with the thing, and I start speaking to Swami and to myself, and I was telling my father, I said, Father, you know what is on the other side now. You know everything. You know the truth. I said, I want to know the truth, but I don't want to die and know the truth. I want to know the reality while I'm alive in this body. And so I took, and this is I wasn't thinking, this is done very unconsciously, subconsciously. I had no thought like that. Aarti was not in that mode. Aarti was very religious. I'm more spiritual. So she would not have thought about this thing. So it was coming from deep within my soul. So I took a whole bunch of ash, my father's ash, in my hands, and I put it in my hands, and I lifted my hands up. I'm sitting on a cremation ground. Think about it. With the 7 foot of father's ash. It's a cremation ground. I lift up this ash in my hands, and I make a vow to the universe. And I say, to know is to know. And I will know all there is to know in this lifetime, in this body. Help me, God. And I take those ashes and I pour them back down into the cremation ground. And it's done. It's done. So Swami, the universe, had to fulfill that. Had to fulfill that. So now I'll jump to how that was fulfilled, because there's a lot more. It'll take days and days if I go on. The book is almost 600, 700, 800 pages, 80 chapters filled with miracles of Sai and Swami. So now we're in 1994. We jumped to 1994, and I'm in California, still Aarti Gupta, and by Swami's grace, Swami has done many, many miracles. A lot of things have happened, and basically, I am driving and he has made me very wealthy. He's made me very wealthy and very well known in California. I became, a millionaire, and money, properties, apartment buildings, cars, you name it, Mercedes, 560 SL sports car, everything. So on the TV, newspaper, radio, big name, whatever. So not important, let me tell you. But anyway, at that time, that's what it was. And so I'm going with my secretary in the 560 SL. I go to LA. I'm driving to LA from San Francisco to LA in the car, and we reach, I have to give a $250,000 check, insurance check, to one of my Gujarati clients. And, you know, most of Aarti's clients were Gujarati people. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the Gujarati community. And I also love all the communities, actually. South Indian, you know, I love you. And all the Westerners, everyone, all the communities. But I'm just saying that only because I had something to do with the communities. Beautiful, simple people. And so anyway, I went, I gave the check, you know, to this lady, and I felt a very strong desire. I had some materialized vibhuti and amrit from Kalusa. Some of you may know about Kalusa in California, where a lot of Amrit and all was coming in the pictures. So I had that, and I thought I'll give some to this lady. You know, she was really sad. So I gave some to her, and because I gave her some, I also took some. And I asked her, I said, Rupa Ben, can I visit your temple? Out of the blue. I don't ask someone to go to someone's house. You don't ask, can I go to your temple? But I just asked her. She said, yeah, sure, Aarti Ben. She's called me Aarti Ben. Everyone called me Aarti Ben that time. And so I went and I looked, you know, did a vibhuti, and small picture of Swami was there also. I was very happy. Anyway, from there, I went to another family. They were having a birthday for the 80-year-old mother. They were like family to me. So they invited me. There was Saroj Shah and Kamal Ben Shah and their family. So I reached there, and, you know, when I'm leaving from there, it was about 11:30, got very late. As I'm leaving there, I get this feeling again, very uneasy feeling. I get this, and I said to her, Saroj, I want to go to your temple. Yes, yes, Aarti Ben. She took me over there. I went and lit the agarbatti, and I'm praying to Swami. I had given them, in fact, they didn't believe in Swami initially, and I, you know, by Swami's grace, they came to him. And so I'm like, I lit the agarbatti, and I'm saying to Swami, I'm saying, Baba, I used to call Aarti, used to call him Baba, Baba, please protect me. And then after I said, please protect me, I said, why did I say, please protect me? He's always protecting me. Why should I even say that to him? Anyway, it was just a thing. I got into the car, and now we're driving to the hotel. It's very late, very tired. In those days, you know, you didn't have to wear a seatbelt. It wasn't mandatory. So driving within, this in San Dimas County in LA. And as I'm driving, all of a sudden, a car comes very fast from the left lane and comes and stops at the stop sign right in front of me. And there's no time to stop. And I was very tired, exhausted from the drive, the whole day, the work, the meetings and all that. So guess what happened? Instead of pressing the brake, guess what I pressed? The accelerator. It was instant death. Instant. That was a sports car. I was driving at like 30 miles an hour. That's it. It was in the suburbs, nighttime, deserted. No one was there, just from nowhere this car came. It was meant to be. It was a straight hit, instant death. And I won't go into the details of how it happened because that will take too long again. All I will say is that Aarti died on the spot and immediately went on the other side. And that other side, I want to share with you, is nothing but love. It's love and love and love. It's the brilliance, it's brilliant light. There is nothing to be afraid of in death. It is beautiful. It is unconditional love, supreme consciousness. God is nothing but love. I was home. I was home. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. And you know something? When I was dissolving, there was a whole lot of things happening to Aarti's electric body. You know, we are nothing but electricity. We're just electric body. And there was a whole transmutation happening. The whole DNA was changing. There were these, there were atoms going out from the left side of the electric body. And there were very fine frequency atoms coming on the right side. It was a whole, you know, like the caterpillar to the butterfly. Or if you know, in Hindi, it's called Parasmani. In English, it's the philosopher's stone. If you're touched by the philosopher's stone, this is what happens. The lead changes to gold. It was a complete Kundalini activation. It was just, I don't have enough words to say it, and it, like I said, be too long. But when I looked for the world to say goodbye, there was no world. It does not exist. Please know that this world is just in our minds. We create our world. We create this world with our thoughts and our minds. We think up our world. Please believe me. Our world is created by our thoughts. You know, sometimes you say, oh my God, my worst fears came true. Well, of course they have to come true. You're giving them so much power. Whatever you give power to is going to manifest. And you know why? Because you yourself are God. You are co-creators. You are the creators. You will create whatever you think. Please be very careful what you think. And I'll give you an example of that. It's very interesting. I was in Prashanti Nilayam. One day, I was walking to Darshan. And there was one auntie walking in front of me. And this particular auntie, whenever she would meet me, she would start talking a lot and ask all kinds of questions. And I was really in a very meditative mode, and I didn't want to be disturbed. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I just wanted to just go for darshan. And so I'm thinking in my mind, oh, no, I should just slow down my steps, because if I go next to auntie, she's going to say this, and she's going to ask me this question, and she's going to ask me that question. I'm saying all these thoughts in my mind. I'm actually framing the sentences because, this is what I'm sure she'll say this, I'm sure she'll say this. And while I'm thinking that, I don't realize that my steps have become a little faster, and right there, I'm right next to her. I was trying not to, but I was right next to her. And she said, oh, by then it was, Swami had already changed my name to Mira Sai, which I'll share with you later. And so she looked at me and she says, oh, beta. And, I was shocked. She exactly repeated verbatim what I was thinking that she would say, to the letter, to the word. The thoughts are so powerful. What I was thinking is exactly what came out of her mouth. That is how Swami showed me, see, be careful what you think, because thoughts reach people very quickly and they react according to not what you say, but what you are thinking. We think that when we are thinking something, it's within us, but it's not within us. Thoughts travel. So be careful what you think. As soon as you get a negative thought, if you get a negative thought, just catch it like a thief. It's like when you go into a room, even our negative, and here's the other thing. Can any one of you, and you know all this, it's not something new I'm sharing with you, you know all this, can anyone see their face? We cannot see our own face. It's impossible. We can't see our face. But you can see my face, and I can see your face, but I can't see my own face. The only way I can see it is in a reflection, in the mirror. Okay, so now think about it. If we cannot see our physical face, which everyone else can see, how in the world are we going to see our inner face? Is it possible? It's not possible, impossible. We cannot see our inner face, out of the question. But God has been very kind. The way we can see our outer face as a reflection in the mirror, the same way we see our inner face reflected in another, in the person in front of us. Because whatever we see in another person is nothing but a reflection of what and who we are. I tell you this, if you see any negative quality in someone, don't be afraid. Don't judge, first of all. Know right away, oh, Swami is showing me this quality in me. Thank you, Swami. Thank you. And then your mind will say, no, what nonsense. I'm not like this. I don't have ego. I don't have jealousy. I don't have hatred. I don't have anger. I don't have this. I don't have that. You will say that to yourself because it's not you who's saying that. It's your mind. Your mind does not want to let go of its control. You see, the mind has taken over, and that I'll tell you another story. So then the thing is that when you see this in someone, say, okay, you know what? I know that this quality exists in me somewhere, because otherwise I would not recognize it in another. It's not possible. You cannot recognize something that you are not familiar with in your own self. If you have not experienced something, you will not recognize it. And so you have to be a little brutal with yourself. Be strong. It's only you. You're not sharing with anyone else. You sit inside and you talk to yourself. You go deep inside. That is sadhana. Sadhana, sadhana. Sadhana is not, it is beautiful when you do seva outside, when you do, anadanam, when you do prayers, when you do name chanting. It's fantastic. We must do that. They're tools. But the main sadhana is to go inside and take out what is hiding in there. You see, it's like the example I always give is that if you come into your house and it's dark and the light is it's dark inside, and if there's a thief hiding in your house, you don't know there's a thief over there. But when you turn on the light, as soon as you turn on the light, you see the thief, and the thief sees you. As soon as the thief sees you, what does he do? He runs away because he's scared. So when you go inside yourself, you have to turn on the light. If you turn on the light inside of you and you find that thief hiding, that characteristic or that quality hiding in you, catch it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't say, no, I'm not like that. Accept it. Please, please accept it. If you accept that quality in you, accept it squarely. Say, okay, yes, I was egoistic that time. I was angry. I had jealousy. I did feel like that. I felt like that. As soon as you accept it, it will run away. It will run away. It cannot stand the light. When you shine the light of your power on it, because you are light, you're powerful. You have no idea how powerful you are. When I was on the other side, I experienced and I was aware of the vastness of our power. So that's what that is. And so anyway, when I came back, Swami called me and he wanted me to come back to Puttaparthi as a zero. He said, come to me as a zero in name, zero in wealth, and zero in family. It's not easy when you have a lot. I gave up everything. I walked away from everything. You're saying something, Arun bhai?
Yeah, may I interrupt you? I'm sure there are many of us who have a similar question. So once you're on the other side, how did you get back?
Okay.
Did Swami tell you go back, or what was it? So,
okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yes. No. Very good question. Thank you. Like I said, I won't go into too much detail, but basically, I didn't want to come back. I was on the other side, and I was one with the Supreme. There, when you're in oneness, it's complete oneness. When you're in oneness and you are love, you are peace, you are everything, where is there to go? Nowhere. But then I heard the Akashvani again saying, you must go back. I said, no, I don't want to go back. And the voice said, you must go, you have to go back, you have to do the work. And next minute, before I could even resist, because the Lord had spoken, I saw this, it was brilliant white. I saw this tunnel. It was like a tunnel, like an umbilical cord. I call it the cosmic womb. I saw this umbilical cord, and I could see outside, I could see inside, I could see everywhere. And I saw inside the fetus of a small baby, like a human baby, a fetus. And it was, head down and feet up, curled up like a fetus in a human womb. And it was attached to the wall of that tunnel. And I saw it, and I said, oh no, that's me. I knew that was me. And I said, oh no, not again. And the next second, I was in Aarti's body in the car. I opened my mouth, and this was broken. This jaw was broken. 4 teeth were out, hanging just by the nerves. It was all blood. And I could see behind me. I was still, I had no body consciousness. There was no body consciousness. I was still in the light. And I I knew everywhere, everything. And I picked up a tissue and I just wiped my mouth. And this is a two-seater sports car. And my door on the left side was jammed. I couldn't get out. My secretary, thank God, she was wearing a seat belt. So she had concussion. And her head was down and she was just moaning. But she was fine. And so I opened the door from that side and I climbed over her. I came outside and I breathed this air and I was an alien. It was like the Twilight Zone. I was standing there and I was like, I had come here for the first time. Or not for the first time, but this was new to me. I was not Aarti. And for the next 4 hours, here's the thing, the cops came, then they took me in an ambulance. We were taken to the San Dimas Community Hospital, and Saroj Ben and Kamal Ben, the ladies, the house that had gone to earlier, there was one lady, a neighbor who had heard the crash, came and asked for a phone number. And so these people, they came and they were taking out, while I was lying down, they were taking out little pieces of glass from all over my face, my eyelashes, face. There were tons of pieces of glass. And mind you, this is almost 3 hours into the accident. I'm bleeding, it's all broken, not a shred of pain. If you even cut your lip a little bit, how painful it is. It's a scratch, how painful it is. It's all broken, no pain. This is all sign. So this happened. And so now I will just say that 1 year later, I was in Parthi. And Swami had already told me basically I was in Parthi and I had a dream, and many dreams, but that one day, I had a dream, and in that dream, it was the accident. The whole accident was being replayed, but with a slight difference. And the difference was that this time, I was sitting in the passenger seat, but on the driver's seat, but it was not my secretary sitting in the passenger seat. The accident was happening and Swami was sitting in the seat next to me, in the passenger seat, and he was holding this little plastic, like a little bowl, like little, whatever you want to call it, little small little thing. And he had put it towards the windshield. And all these pieces of glass from the windshield were magnetically being drawn into this little plastic thingy. And then that was happening. And then it was so amazing, so sweetly. He turned his head to me like a mother, and he says to me, see, not even one went in your eyes, And then I looked at him, and then about a few seconds later, he says, finally, you have come. And I woke up. I thought, why did I get this dream today out of the blue? I went for darshan, and Swami's walking by and he looks straight at me and he blesses. And I says, thinking still, Swami, why did I get this dream? And then boom, I get a flash. Oh my God, it's July 30th. It was the anniversary of the accident. I didn't even realize. Swami came in the dream and showed me that he was there. He was there. And when the Kamal Ben and Saroj Ben were taking out the glass pieces from my face a year ago in the hospital, they were commenting to themselves, oh, look at this, so strange. So many glass pieces in her face, not even one in her eyes. They said that. And Swami is repeating the same thing. No, see, not even one went in your eyes. I mean, look at Swami. So this is how it happened. And then Swami called me and I went with zero. I had gone to church. I'd gone to Cornerstone Church with some Sai friends of mine in San Francisco. And I had got this dream. I must share this dream. I had got this amazing dream that Swami gave. He was trying to help me to detach and to leave the big house and to walk away from everything. It was a little difficult. And so I had this dream. In this dream, all of a sudden, I'm flying up as a soul. And I'm flying up. And all of a sudden, I see another soul to my left. It's a darker brownish kind of a soul. And it's holding a dead bull. It's holding a buffalo, actually, a dead buffalo. And it's holding that. It's trying to fly up with this dead buffalo. And it's flying up with this dead buffalo. I look at it and I say, no. I'm telling this soul, no, let it go. See, less luggage. Swami always says, I'm telling that soul, less luggage, easy travel, let go. This is just attachment. And then I realized, oh, no, this soul is not any other. This is me. This is what I'm trying to hold on to, you know. And then that soul lets go of the dead buffalo, and I fly up really fast. And as I fly up higher and higher, I see this beautiful crystal castle, you know, like we have in Disney World, the castle. So I see this beautiful castle, and it's calling out to me and it's saying, come, come, I'm waiting for you. This is your home. And then I see another castle and another one. And I see that you and you and you, all of us have our castles. We all have our castles over there. And the castle, that's our real home. That's our home. It's calling you. That you have no idea how beautiful. And then this voice comes, and the voice asks me, do you want this castle? Or do you want the castle you're staying in? I'm staying literally in a castle in a huge place. Is you want this castle or you want that castle? And immediately I say, no, 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 no. I want this castle. I don't want the castle of concrete and cement. And I opened my eyes, and that helped me even more to give it up. And like I said, that Sunday we went to Cornerstone Church in San Francisco, with some of my Sai Western friends, and the priest, I mean, not the priest, the minister was giving a talk, and he was talking about detachment. And I was like, okay, that's it, it's done. So I had a notebook. I took out a piece of paper and I wrote to Swami. I said, Swami, from this moment on, from this second on, I give up everything. I surrender my life into your hands. I give it up. Please take care of me. I wrote that letter, folded it, I put it in the Bible, and I left it in the pew. Because to me, Christ, Krishna, Sai, they're all the same. They're one and the same. I love Christ. I have a deep feeling for Christ. And I love Krishna, you know. And so, so here, this is what happened. And that's when I was able to walk away from the house and walk away empty-handed. My family was so worried. How are you going to eat? How are you going to live? I said, well, God did it for Francis of Assisi. He'll do it for me. He'll do it for me. He has to. He's called me. He's told me to come empty-handed. That's how I'm going to go. So I left empty-handed. And, you know, within a year, one of my father's properties got sold in Delhi, and I got a chunk of money. So, but I left with full faith in Swami. And here, I must share this story with you. It is amazing, amazing story of Swami's. You'll love it. In 1996, I came back for a year to get my brother married, because I had told Swami it's his duty. He has to get him married. And he sure did. He arranged everything. And so when I came back, you know, I had a $5,200 disability income policy. And I thought all this time I had given up, but that little policy was at the back of my head. I hadn't fully given up. See, we always think, well, I'll have a little bit of something. Maybe if it doesn't happen, you know, I'll keep this little insurance on the side. So I had that. And so I had a lawyer working on the papers and documents, etc. And I love Sedona. I had gone to Shasta and had some amazing experiences over there, all in the book. And in Sedona, amazing experiences, because I can communicate with the stones. They were talking to me. And so anyway, I was there. And about 3 days into my being there, I had a dream. And it was more of a vision than a dream. You know, one of the old, you know, the elderly American Indian grandmothers, she came to me, and beautiful long white hair, 100 wrinkles on the face, beautiful. And she came to me and she says to me, you have to give up the insurance. And I'm like, no, no, no. She says, yes, it is not good for you. You have to give up the insurance. And I wake up and I can still feel her energy. And I'm thinking, I said, no, no, Swami, I can't do that. Swami, how will I live, Swami? Then it was like, no, that was Swami only. Then I said, okay, Swami, you know, the human in us. I said to him, I tried to make a deal with God, you know. I said to him, I said, okay, Swami, you know, okay, let's do this. I'll put a sign. Let's put a sign. And the sign is that, you know, I'm doing that insurance policy. I knew he was talking about the disability income policy. I said, the insurance policy, the lawyer's working on it. And when I go back, if there is a letter from the lawyer regarding that policy, okay, fine, I'll give it up. But if there's no letter from the lawyer, then I'll keep it. And look at the mind, how it is at that time, because there was fear, you see, there was fear of financial security, which we all have. And so I said, but I knew I'd had a conversation with the lawyer about a week before leaving for Sedona. And he had said, "Look, everything is on its way. I don't need to connect with you for the next month or so." So at the back of my head, I knew I thought that there's going to be no letter from the lawyer, because I've already spoken to him and he's told me that I'm not going to be communicating with you for the next month. And I'm telling Swami that in the next 3 days, when I go back, if there's a letter from the lawyer, then I'll give it up, knowing there's going to be no letter from the lawyer. So I'm very safe. So I don't have to give up the policy. This is how the mind works, you see. And so I go back, and, and that was at that time when there was fear. A little bit of fear was there. And I go back, and guess what? There was only one piece of mail from the lawyer. That's it. I looked at that letter, and tears were rolling down my eyes. And I said to Swami, I said, "Okay, Swami, now I'm complete zero. I have nothing now. Don't forget, I was a millionaire. Even in India, my father very wealthy. I don't know how it is to be a zero, to not know where my next meal is coming from." So I say, "Okay, Swami, I give it up." All right. That evening on Saturday, my sister and my brother-in-law came to visit me. I was living in Marin at that time. I had rented a small cottage, beautiful cottage with roses and the beautiful rose garden at the back. And because I was here back in the US for like 8-9 months. So my brother-in-law, when he saw the letter, he looked at me and he read the letter and he started telling me how to deal with it, how to answer the question the lawyer was saying and all that. So I said to him, I said quietly, I said, no, actually, I'm not going to be pursuing it. He looked at me and he said, "What do you mean? How are you going to live?" I said, I had Swami's pictures all over. He doesn't believe in Swami. My sister does, of course. So I looked all around at Swami's picture and I said, "Don't worry, God will take care of me." He says, no. And he's really concerned. He says, no. I mean, how are you going to eat? This is exactly how he said. How are you going to eat? I looked at him and I said, I will never be short of food. If I'm hungry, you see this door? God will come from this door and feed me with his own hands. And then something came over me. I put both my hands out and I said, these hands, they have so much power that if I want, manna from heaven will fall for me. I said, "Don't you worry, I will never be hungry." And he shuddered. He said, "I can't do that." I said, "You're not." My sister was quiet, looking down. That happened. The next day, they left. Then the next day, there was a dinner, in Fremont so I was driving from Marin to Fremont. The family was having a dinner. As I was driving, there was a blue Mercedes that passed me. It was evening. And in that blue, I always had a habit, I'm sure many of you must be having, reading the number plates, adding them up to 9 or see what's written in them, etc., as a message and all that. So I see this number plate and it says very happy. Very happy. VERYHAPPY. That's 9 letters. It's not possible. We're only allowed 7. How can it be very happy? Okay. So I'm like, I know it's Swami. I am blessed. I am like thrilled. I am so joyous, you can't imagine, because I know that it is Swami who said very happy to what I said to my family the other day, that I've given it up, that's it, and whatever happened. Now, I go there, and this is kind of sweet, but here is, my family is very wealthy here. They all have a lot of wealth, okay? I used to be, but now at this time I'm zero. I've got nothing in wealth anymore. But guess what? I looked at the pictures later, and the only person who was really smiling was me, because I had the wealth of God. Anyway, I come back home that evening, and I was just about to sleep. I felt very thirsty. I went to the fridge in my kitchen, a small little kitchen with a small a wooden table and 2 wooden chairs. And I opened the refrigerator. In the light of the refrigerator, I'm reaching for some water or juice or something. My mouth is very dry. And I see on the second shelf, there's a loaf of bread lying there. I have not put that loaf of bread. I live there alone. I only have the key. So I am saying, what is this interesting loaf? Where did this come from? I take the loaf out and I'm looking at this loaf of bread. And guess what it says on it? Anyone care to make a guess? It says manna. It says manna. I still have the wrapper till today. I was like, what? I was shaking. I turned on the light. I sat down and I looked at this loaf of bread. And on the side of it, it says manna from heaven. And I sat, and you have no idea how much I cried. I just took that loaf of bread, held it to my heart, and I cried and I cried and I cried. Not tears of sadness, but tears of joy. See, the day before I had said, manna from heaven will fall from me. It was in my refrigerator the next day. That is faith and confidence. If we have faith and confidence in God, we can create anything. From that moment on, I have never had fear of financial security or insecurity. And He has kept me very well. So I just wanted to share that story of Swami's with you, where never be afraid of anything. As long as you have Sai with you. He says, why fear when I'm here? When you have Sai with you. And here, I will tell you, He is in your blood. You want to see how He is in your blood? I will show you. When I had opened the temple, in San Jose for 5 years, I opened a Sai temple. I used to say, and that is not I used to say, I still say it because it's my truth. And it is your truth only, it's just you're not aware of it. But I'm hoping that you will become aware of it today. I used to say, and I still say, Swami, I eat Him, I breathe Him, I sleep Him. I say, He's in every drop of my blood. There is only Sai, 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 Sai. There is only Sai. There is no Mira Sai, there is no Mira, there is only Sai, Sai, Sai. He's in my blood, He's in my blood. So one day, about 10 years ago, about 8 years ago, 2009 it was, I didn't realize, but I developed rheumatoid arthritis. And so I went to a doctor in LA, a naturalist, and he was taking some tests and all that. And then I'm going to show you some pictures. And so he said to me, he says, he took one drop of my blood, one drop of my blood, and he put it under a microscope. And he put and he was showing me on the screen how the white blood cells, how they attack any debris or anything in our red blood cells and how it works and the whole thing, the red things, etc. So while he was showing me that, all of a sudden, I see on the screen all these red blood cells, and there is only one white blood cell. And in that white blood cell, I see Swami. I see Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. And I'm going to show you the photograph. And I'm like, wait, stop. I say to him, I said, that's Sai Baba. He says, who's Sai Baba? He doesn't know. And he's funny. He says, oh yeah, I see a lot of smileys sometimes. He's just joking. And I said, no, stop, please. And I take a photograph of Swami in my white blood cell. And what does a white blood cell do? It protects us. Yes? Okay, I'm going to show you now 2 pictures. One, a picture I'm going to show you of the computer screen with Swami, with all red blood cells all around, and Swami, and then there's a zoom of Swami in the blood cell. I hope everyone will be able to see it. So this is the one with Swami. Please, if you can everyone see? Arun bhai, can you tell me if everyone see? Is it clear? Can you see Swami in the red? Let me see the light. The light is falling. Can you see?
We can see the photograph, and
there's too much light there.
Okay. Let me hold on. Let me turn my computer around here. Is this a little better?
Swami. Yes, we can see Swami. Yes, we
Can you see Swami?
Yes.
The hair,
right in the middle.
Yes, exactly. So these are all red blood cells, and there is only one
Yeah, I
white blood
see.
cell.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
can
see.
see Swami, yes.
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 Excellent. Now I'm going to show you a zoom of that, okay? Where you can see it better, where you can see him better.
Yes. Now this
Yes.
is
Yes.
Swami.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see him now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now we can
Very
see
good.
clearly.
Very good.
You see? You see, he's in our blood.
Yes.
He's in our blood. This is Swami. This is our Swami. You see? So it's like, you know, and here's the thing. Once you are ready, I wrote this down as a note for myself, so I'm reading it out for you. But once you are ready to devote your days and time to what your soul has come to do, you know, we focus so much on the body. If we can just focus on what we have really and truly come to do, then you will find your life unimaginably enriched. It will be so enriched you have no idea, because then you are doing what you have really come to do. And then I say, you have not come here to do something. You have come here to be something. You have come here to be you. Please be you. And do you know who you are? Do you know what you are? You are divine. You are love. Love, love, love. That's all you are. If you can just live in love, Swami says, live in love. You know, those are not words. If you can practice it, if you can experience it, you have no idea how. And here's the other thing I want to share with you is that, can I just take a little sip of water?
Sure. 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 Please go ahead.
1 second. See, when I was on the other side, there's one thing I learned. The laws of the universe were being just downloaded in my whole system. I have written a book called Ecstasy. Ecstasy is the opposite of ecstasy. See, ecstasy, we feel, and I thought there's no such word as ecstasy. And Swami downloaded it to me for my book. I looked it up and I saw that this ecstasy word was coined by Mircea Eliade in 1969. It's in the dictionary. And so ecstasy is ecstasy that we feel from the outside, the bliss that we feel from outside. Oh, I'm so ecstatic. But ecstasy is what you feel, the bliss you feel from inside. And the meaning of that is standing inside oneself. Standing inside oneself. Imagine that. Imagine standing inside yourself and feeling the bliss and the joy and the love that you are. Imagine that. Once you can tap into that. And here's the thing, one of the basic ways to do that is here. When I was on the other side, what I learned was, not learned, what was downloaded into me was, whether I liked it or not, was that we, and I'm sure many of you already know this, we write our own story. You see, when we are in soul form, before we jump into the womb of our mothers, we are in Atmic form. We are all powerful. We know everything. We are all powerful. And we say, oh, I can deal with this. I can deal with that. You know, and we have seen our past, and then we see the future. I don't know if many of you know, but I will share this with you. It's very important. It's, there are 3 karmas. There is Sanchita karma, there is Prarabdha karma, and there is Agami karma. If you can just kind of understand that, I'll make it very easy for you. Okay. Sanchita karma is, if I can explain it, it's like you know, your closet. You have a closet full of clothes. You have tons and tons of clothes, and your closet is full of clothes. And you go out for a vacation here, you go out for a vacation there, and then you buy more clothes, and then you come and fill your closet with that, and it keeps getting filled more and more and more. And then once in a while, you say, you know, I really need to clear this closet. It's really too much now. So Sanchita karma is our karma closet. It's the karma closet where we bring in our karmas from all different lifetimes. So this closet is full of Sanchita karma. When we jump into life for a life that we are taking, then we say, when you go on a vacation, you don't take your full closet with you, right? you take a few clothes from there, some clothes from there, some nice, some bad, some you want to give away to someone because they're old or whatever. And so you bring a whole bunch of clothes in a suitcase and you take them on your vacation and you wear those clothes, you exhaust them out. So that is your prarabdha karma, meaning that when you jump into your life, you take some karma from your karma closet and bring it into this life. And then the agami karma is what new clothes you buy. So new karma that you take on. So now that you have an idea about that, when you're in soul form, before you jump into the womb of your mother, you look at this closet and you say, okay, so in the past lifetime, this is what happened. In this lifetime, I'm going to exhaust all these karmas. And those karmas are not just good karmas, they're good karmas and bad karmas, both. So basically, when you're taking those, sometimes you take more bad karmas, or I won't say bad, some negative karmas, and they're not even negative. I just call them mistakes. We all make mistakes and we learn from mistakes. That is our journey. So it's nothing good or bad as such. So here we take our negative karmas and we want to exhaust them. So, we say, okay, I'm going to take on this karma and I'm going to take on this suffering and I'm going to go through this issue and this problem and this bad relationship or this and all these kind of things. Okay. And God is telling us, hey, are you sure you can handle it? This is too much. You can't handle it. And you say, no, I can handle it because you're all powerful there. No, I can handle it. I want to get rid of it in this lifetime. So God says, okay, you know what? Fine. If you want to do it, but remember, I'm always there. I'm watching out. If you need my help, call me, call out to me. And what he does is that when we call out to him, he doesn't remove our karma, because that's not what it should be. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Because if that happens, then we'll have to do it again. We have to exhaust it. But he gives us an umbrella. It's like when you want to cross the street and it's raining, you don't want to get wet. Someone hands you an umbrella. So you still are in the rain, but you get across without getting wet. So you go across, you go through your karmic suffering, but without the pain, without feeling it much, because he has handed you the umbrella. So basically what I'm trying to say is that when we come down, we have already written our story. So the stage is set. The roles are set. The people in your life are set. What's going to happen is set. The only choice you have to make more karma or to get rid of karma is how you play your role, how you play the game of life. It's just a game. It's just a game. Enjoy it. It's only experience. You only come here to experience negative and positive. Don't be attached to either. Don't be attached to negative. Don't be attached to positive. Just enjoy, just experience life and say, aha, okay, so what did I learn from this experience? That's all that's required. You just have to learn from the experience. Once the experience is learned, that's out. Then you go to the next experience and the next and the next. And that's the journey. You start from zero. You take the whole circle and you come back to zero. You see? The road leads only to you. You're not going anywhere. You're only started from yourself and you come back to yourself. And that is what Swami came to teach us, and he teaches us. You see? So basically, and he's always said, he always says, what is happiness? Happiness is union with God. And it's not just words. I used to think it's just words. But now I know. When I was on the other side, I was one. I was in complete and total oneness. I am that I am. I was the peace that passeth understanding. I was that. And you are that too. Except that you are not in that awareness, but you get that awareness when you're in deep meditation, when you're in that oneness, you feel that for a moment. I know many of you have felt it. So we have to just, become more of that. It has to be, expand on it. Now, how do we do that? One of the things, it's a very sweet story. One of the things that's very important is the food we eat. And also, where we eat it, who has cooked the food, in what emotional state of mind the food has been cooked. And I'll tell you a story to illustrate that, very sweet story. Basically, there was a sage, a saint, sadhu, whatever, and he was, walking through the forest. He was doing his, he was walking, and it became late at night. He was in the forest and he needed a place to stay. And right from a distance, he saw a small hut with a light, And he went to the hut and he knocked on the door, and a man opened the door, and the sage asked the man, look, I'm hungry and I need a place to stay. Will you give me shelter for the night? Man said, yes, yes, please come in. He went inside. The man gave him some food. He ate the food and he went to sleep. Next morning, the sage woke up early. The other man was still sleeping. Sage was used to waking up really early. He woke up and, we didn't want to disturb the man. He was ready to leave. So as he was leaving, in the cooking area, he saw a knife. He saw a knife and the thought came to him, oh, I have fruit. I mean, people give me fruit, or if I buy fruit or something, I don't have a knife to cut my fruit. I could use this knife. He steals the knife. The sage, mind you. He picks up the knife, puts it in his bag, and he goes off. Okay. About an hour later, he has to relieve himself of the food and everything. So he does all that. Once he's relieved of the food he's eaten and the morning ablutions or whatever.
Okay, so it started again.
Okay. Okay, so Sairam, everyone. I think I've spoken a lot. I hope I did not tire you. I'm opening it to Q&A now. Please ask any question that you would like, and I will ask Swami to, answer.
Okay, I think I suggest that maybe you raise your hand or something, and then I unmute you so that not everybody starts talking at the same time.
That's a good idea.
So if somebody has a question.
Well, it seems like no one has any questions.
No, everybody is waiting. Everybody is just being polite. Yes, Enrico?
Yes, I have a question. I've just tuned in, and my question is, what does Mira think about vaccination?
Vaccination.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice. I cannot go into someone's head or heart. If they feel called to get the vaccination, please go and get it. If they feel not to get it, not to get it. Because I personally have taken the vaccination, but like I said, it is a personal choice. It's really, you have to go deep inside and see if it is for you. And that's what it is.
Yeah, and I know some of the people here, I cannot say it's some, but at least I know somebody might be thinking that why am I suffering, ailment physically? And so it was very nice that you talked about us, taking out clothes from our closet, karma, and putting it in a suitcase and bringing it with us in this life. So it is, it's heartening to know that, yes, we chose it. We don't know now, but
Yes.
we knew, we
Yes.
packed it and we brought it with us.
Yes,
so that
and
we
now
can,
you.
yeah.
Yes, go ahead, please.
No, so now we brought it. We brought all those illnesses. We brought to learn patience, to learn love. We brought all those things with us. So thank
Exactly.
you very much for raising that point.
There's another point, another point to this, which I want to just elaborate is, here's the other thing, this is even more important, is that when in our life, never blame anyone for anything, because guess what? It's not their fault. If someone has harmed you or made you suffer, it's not their fault. Trust me, you wrote that for yourself. You wrote it. They're only helping you. They're helping you to actually go through the suffering or the pain that you wrote for yourself. You have to actually thank them. You must thank them. Because at one time someone even asked Swami, all this pain and suffering, why am I going through this and all that? And someone is being mean to me, they're being angry, they're blaming me, and they're saying things about me which are not true and things like that. Swami said, please thank them. Person said, what do you mean, Swami? How can I thank them? He said, you have, because when anyone does negative towards you, they're taking away your karma on themselves. They're removing your karma. Please, please thank them. And it is so fantastic, because now it will make you live it'll make you a happier person, because you will not be able to blame anyone. Anyone who does something bad to you in your heart, say, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you, I bless you, I bless you, I bless you. Because all they have done is help you to offload the karma you brought to offload. If they were not being that way towards you, if you didn't go through that situation, you would not be able to go through that suffering. You would not be able to get rid of that karma. But here's the caveat. Here's the caveat. When that happens, how you react to it, that's the catch. How you react to it is when you build up more karma, good or bad, or actually exhaust it and get rid of it. So you see, if someone does something negative towards you or makes you suffer or gives you pain, you just smile. You know that story about Buddha. I'm sure all of you know, but if you don't mind, I'll repeat it. When Buddha was going and giving a talk, he was, moving around with the disciples. He came to a village, and there was this one man, and he came and he was insulting him and saying all kinds of bad things and all this. And Ananda, his disciple, was getting really angry. Like, what is this? There's a Krishna story like that too. What is this? And he's saying all these things. And Buddha said, just relax. So when that man kept on and on and on, finally he got tired of insulting him. And, he said to Buddha, he went up to him and he says, what kind of person are you? I've been insulting you, I've been saying all these things to you. You haven't even reacted a little bit. That means that whatever I said is true. You didn't defend yourself. It's all true what I said. So Buddha just smiled at him and he said, can I ask you a question? Man said, yes, of course you can ask me a question. So Buddha said, if I send you a registered letter and you don't accept it, and if you send me a registered letter and I don't accept it, where does it go? He says, back to me. And Buddha smiled. You see, when someone says or does things against you or towards you, they're sending you a registered letter. Don't accept it. It doesn't belong to you. It's their problem. It's their mind. It's their thinking. It's them. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. It's their business. Why are you getting involved with their thought? Hello?
Very nice, very nice.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
So
Vijay Bhai has a question.
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Vijay Bhai.
Unmute your mic.
My question is that whatever you're saying, it makes a lot of sense, but we are all Sai devotees, so we believe in that. And we know what Sai stands for and all those things, How do you explain it to other people?
You don't. You don't explain to anyone, because explaining will not be of any help. You just be that way. People learn from example. They are more visual. They will not listen. Even you look at children. Children are not going to listen to what their parents are saying. They're going to watch what their parents are doing. They're going to do what their parents are doing. They're not going to listen. In the same way, you don't tell anyone, because if you tell, 100% they're not going to listen to you. You just be yourself. And the thing is that when you create that kind of energy around you, it exudes. You will just give that energy. And when you give that energy, any other negative energy around you cannot survive. It will fall. And you just pray to Swami to make sure that he brings good company to you. And company, ba. Most important. Swami says, run away from bad company. In my book, you'll see there is a whole 4 chapters, what happens when when bad company comes towards you, and in your innocence and trust, you just, fall into a trap. So the thing is, be very careful of the company you keep. And here I say, not just company of people, company of the food you eat, which I just already illustrated, company of the thoughts you keep, company of the sounds you hear, all kinds of company. You see, the thing is, you can only change yourself. You cannot change anyone. Just be a beautiful divine soul that you are. And people will apne aap, they'll come. And if they don't, that's okay too. It wasn't meant for them. Their journey is different. Their path is different. Let them walk their path. No judgment. All is good. All is God.
I believe
Even
in that, because over the years, Swami has brought so many people. We have a Sai center in our house for last almost 30 years. And Swami has brought so many people in this house. I can't even imagine, and I can't even really stop and try to tell you, all the people came to this house, So we are very, very lucky.
Yes,
Extremely
absolutely.
lucky.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Very
Yes.
happy.
Sai,
Very,
Sai
very
Ram.
happy. Sai Ram,
Ram.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram
Yeah,
ji, Sai Ram.
we got so many things from you today. Your experience really even inspire even more that we have love for Swami, but even your experience, even just how wonderful it is, just that how fortunate we are to be in Swami's fold, who came to show us how to live, what the purpose is.
Yes, yes. And see, the thing is, you say my stories, I'm just an empty plate, completely empty plate, nobody, nothing. All I'm doing right now is this empty plate is serving the beautiful dishes of Swami's Leelas. All that I have said are only Swami's Leelas. They're beautiful dishes for you to taste, to enjoy, to experience, to digest, and to get nourishment from, get nurturing from. Swami loves you. Swami loves all of you. You have no idea how much he loves you. Really, he's coming. He loves you so much. He really loves you. I can feel it. My whole being right now, you have no idea. It's like an ocean of love just pouring out to each and every one of you. Please take it, receive it. Please receive it. Receive Swami's love. He's sending you his love. He's telling you, I love you. I'm with you. I have not left you for a moment. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm in you. I'm in you.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Anu has a question. Anu, you have a question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for beautiful experiences and beautiful lecture. I have one question. On one side, they say that Karan Karavan Ek Hai Dusar Nahi Ko. That is, God is doing everything and it's already written in our destiny. And on the other hand, they say it's all karma. So how these two they go together?
Very good, very good. It's a little bit of what I said just now. You see, first of all, you have to realize, who are you? Who are you? You yourself are God. So when you say that God has written our destiny, remember what I said just now, that when you were in Atma form, you wrote your story?
Yes.
You are the hero of your movie. You're writing your movie every moment. You're writing your book. Every second is a chapter of your book. So when you say God has written it, yes, you in God form. You in God form wrote your story for this lifetime. And then when you say karma, yes, you wrote that story, and in that story, you put little flagstones for yourself, little flyers, little, where, okay, this is going to be my turning point. This is going to be my crossroad. Here, I'm going to have to make a very big choice, and you leave yourself open for that choice. So it's like, let's say, if you want to go from San Jose, you want to go to San Francisco, or any city, there are maybe 3 highways leading to that destination. You can take any freeway you want, but you're in San Francisco, you're in San Jose right now, and you have to make a choice. I will take this freeway. I will either take 680 or 880 or 280, or 101, whichever highway you take, whichever road you take, those are the exits that are going to come on the way. That's the experience you're going to have. The experience you're going to have is of the exits that are going to come on the way of the particular freeway that you took. You see, so you also have brought yourself. That is where the karma comes in. And the main karma, even Swami has said that the only choice you have, and it's not as if God has written this. He says, why do you blame God? Why do you blame me? He says, I'm only Sakshatkar. I'm only the witness. I'm only witnessing what you yourself have written for yourself. Please remember that. If you can remember that every single day of your life, hey, I wrote this for myself. There must be a reason. There must be a reason. If I wrote this for myself, there must be a reason. That is why in India we have a saying, Jo hota hai, acha hota hai. Whatever happens, happens for the best.
Yes.
You see, So when we say that thinking because we know that whatever is happening is for my highest good. Because that is what I chose. Of course, the game of life is when we come down here, we are supposed to forget. Otherwise, it's not a game anymore. See, then it's no fun. You are having fun with yourself. And guess what? Even if you go beyond that, there is in one of the Sanskrit thing is Aham Brahmasmi. I'm sorry, not Aham Brahmasmi, sorry. Aham Bahushyam. Aham Bahushyam. Aham Bahushyam means God saying, I separated myself from myself to experience myself. I separated myself from myself to experience myself. And what did he separate himself into? Into you and me. You see, he is experiencing himself through you. So it's him. It's all him. There is no me. There is no you. We don't exist. Hello. But we think we exist because we are so identified with the body. When you're in deep meditation and you are not having body consciousness, don't you feel vast? Don't you feel just amazingly expansive, like you are the universe? That's who you are. That's who you are. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to share something very important with you, and I think it's going to help you. I'm going to give you a tool. I'm going to give you a tool, not me. Swami gave it to me, so I'm sharing it with you. It's a tool which helped me a lot. There was one time, and I'll say it with the story so you'll understand it better. I was sitting in a courthouse. It was just a silly little small claim situation, but the judge was being a little bit not very positive towards me, and I was like, oh gosh, what to do, you know? So Swami said to me, send her the pink light. I said, okay, Swami, fine. So I just kind of, you know, I went and I just brought on the beautiful pale pink, you know, soft pink light. I filled my heart with that. That is pure unconditional love. I filled my heart with that beautiful pink light, and I was brimming with it. My whole body was brimming with it. And then I took that pink light and he said, now send it to her. I took the pink light and I sent that pink light into the heart of the judge. I just sent it to her and I sent it with love. I just kept sending her that light and filling her heart with that beautiful pink light. And she was, had her head down and she was going through some documents. And I kept doing it. I was doing this for the first time. So I kept doing that because Swami is telling me, do this, do this. I said, okay, I'm doing this. And all of a sudden, she looks up like this and she's looking around. And then she comes and her eyes stop right at me. They stop at me and she shakes her head like something happened to her. And then she goes back to writing her stuff. And I also went like this, like, oh my God, what happened? I didn't know. And then about 10 minutes later, my turn came. And when I went to her, she was a totally different person. She was so loving and kind and so amazingly receptive, you know. And she said, this is all nonsense. I'm dismissing it, she said, the case. It was a silly little thing. So what I'm trying to say here is, let us fill ourselves with this beautiful pink light of love, which is what we are. And if we can fill that, I do a certain meditation with it. Maybe another time, if we get together, I'll do the meditation of that. And so if you fill yourself with that beautiful pink light, that unconditional, pure, divine love that you yourself are, touch that fountain of joy and love inside of you. If you can just tap into it and turn the key, let it gush out. Let it gush out. And first of all, you have to really, really nourish the child in you. You have to just nourish that child and say, and talk to yourself. Talk to the child in you. Talk to yourself. Say, you know what? Tell, Naden is in front of me. You tell Naden. Say, little Naden, I'm going to take care of you. I'm taking care of you. Don't you worry. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to do this for you. Tell the child in you. Tell the adult you, talk to the child in you. Because once you heal that child in you, all the child in you, has gone through a lot in life. And you have to tell the child, we wrote this story. We wrote this story for ourselves. We wrote this, guess what? So it's okay. It's okay if we went through it. It was a wonderful experience. See how much we learned from it? See how much? And I tell you one thing, pain is my best friend. Pain is my best friend because it is my teacher. It builds character. And not only that, it's only when we get pain and suffering, that is the only time that we are getting rid of our karmas. That's the only time. When we are happy and joyous, guess what? We're in trouble. We slip and we fall and we make a lot of mistakes. We get ego, we get this, we get that, all kinds of stuff we go through. And then we fall flat and we say, oh my God, please, please help me. I won't do this again. It was a mistake. Because we're enjoying ourselves so much, we forget. So pain and suffering, when that comes to us, it's a wake-up call, that's all. So let's accept it. I take it as prasadam. I take it as Swami's prasad. If you, on a plate of food, if you eat only dessert, you're going to fall very sick. You have to have bitter, sweet, sour, all kinds, to make it balanced. So a little bit of pain and suffering, if it's more, it's okay. Say, okay, Swami, this is a challenge. I'll deal with it. I brought it on myself. I took it on myself. Just help me. Please, please help me, Swami. Be with me. Help me. And Swami will say, yes, my child, I will help you. I will help you. Please call out to him. He's waiting. I have another question.
Thank you.
Yes, if I can.
Yes, go ahead, Enrico.
Thank you. Well, Sai Ram, sister.
Sai Ram.
My younger sister also is called Mira. That's funny.
Okay.
I think you live in New Mexico, no?
No. I live in California, in USA. And I also live in Reno. Right now I'm in near Lake Tahoe in Nevada.
Okay.
And Swami gave me the name Mira and last name Sai. He asked him what's my last name, and he said he gave me his family name Sai as my last name in the interview room. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't know how the situation in California is, but in Holland, it's already a long time. Swami loves his organization, no? And he loves that we come together and sing bhajans in praise of his glory and of all the holy things. And I find it a very pity that there's no coming together anymore here in Holland. Because of the situation of COVID.
Well, here's the thing. So what is your question?
What
you just want my reflections on that.
I want your reflection about that, yeah.
Yes, I understand.
I don't know how your situation is. That's also a question.
See, here's the thing. To me, the COVID, the lockdown.
I don't hear you at the moment.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
you can or you cannot?
Yes.
Okay.
It's my mistake.
You can hear me? Okay, no problem. So my very humble reflection on that is that, with the advent of MiraSai coming, I believe that Swami had said that MiraSai is not going to be speaking that much. He's going to communicate more, he's going to be higher consciousness. He's going to communicate more with from consciousness to consciousness. you see. And my, again, very humble, thing is that this is a cleanup. It's a cleanup for MiraSai, because this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the time when there is so much of negativity and there's so much of corruption and negativity and all this stuff in the world, right?
It's all coming out, yeah.
It's all coming out, exactly. Because let's say if a fly falls into the milk, right? It's down there, you don't even know it, you drink it up and you fall sick. But the fly or anything that's fallen in the milk or food or anything has to come to the surface for you to see it. Only then you can pull it out and throw it away, right? So what's happening is that all over the world, the dirt is surfacing, the negativity, all that is surfacing. COVID, I mean, if we really want to look at it in a positive sense, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, it's a cleanup. Because also what Swami is doing, he's sifting the chaff from the grain. He's sifting the chaff from the grain. He has said, dig only one well. Dig only one well and you will find water. Don't dig many wells. People are running here, there, different organizations, all kind of stuff. They don't realize there is only one well. Dig it deep and find not Swami, not God, but find yourself, because you are Swami, you are God. You've come here to find yourself. Pay attention to yourself. Don't pay attention to what's happening outside. I don't even watch the news. Why should I? You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary. That's their business. It's not mine. Yes, if I hear of someone who's pain and suffering, and if I can help in some way, I will do that. But I let Swami send that message to me. I don't go out and search for it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not going to go out and look for trouble. If trouble has to come, let it come to me and I'll sort it out. I'll deal with it. Why should I go out and look for trouble? You see what I'm saying? Because here, the main thing here is to raise your consciousness. And with every person, it comes in a different way. If for you, it is that you have to go out and search for it and do something about it, so be it. That is your path. Please follow it. You have to follow your heart. Don't listen to anyone. Listen to your heart. You know, whatever your heart says, go deep inside. And then here's the thing. Here's a funny thing also. The mind is very naughty. It's a very It'll come in and tell you, yes. The mind will say, I. You know what I call the mind? I call the mind the backseat driver. It's a backseat driver, very annoying. Turn right, turn left, do this. Oh, you didn't stop. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. That's what the mind is doing to us all the time. Do this, do that. Hey, hello, you know. So what we are doing is we are letting this mind rule us. So we have to tell the mind, hey, I know I'm the one who's driving the car. Let me drive. You have to tell the mind to stop. And there are ways to stop that. You know, it's like a salesman coming to you, knocking on the door, selling his wares. And you tell the salesman very nicely, please, really, I don't want, thank you so much, you know. And the salesman goes away. And he comes back with a different twist to his to his wares and says, but this. We say, look, I told you, I really don't want, thank you so much, you know. He goes back, then he comes back with a different mask and a different mask and a different mask. By the end of it, you say, you know what, if you come again, I'm going to shoot you. Sorry, I don't mean that. But, you know, that's what you have to tell your mind. I'm going to shoot you. Get the, you know, go, stay out of my way. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want what you're selling.
The sound is just now away.
Sorry?
I think he has internet problems, Enrico.
I got that.
Okay, so that's what I feel about this situation. You know, I think it's just Swami clearing up, cleaning up, and we just have to you know, focus on him and our consciousness, raise it and help where we can and be happy in that also, you know.
Yeah, but I feel that devotees, when they don't come together because they have fear for COVID or infection or whatever, then Swami has taught us, why fear when I'm here? So what the heck?
Very true. But there's another story. I have to illustrate with the story. Okay. And the story is, there was this one man who was always taking God's name always taking God's name. God is with me. He's saving me. He's going to take care of me. I'm not afraid of anything. And I was walking, walking, walking. Suddenly a raging elephant was coming from the opposite side. And all the villagers next to him said, move out of the way, move out of the way. The elephant's going to kill me. He says, no, I'm not afraid. God said he'll take care of me. I'm just going to... Sure enough, the elephant comes and he fixes him, right? He's fixed. He goes up to God and he says, God, you said you'll take care of me. What happened? I wasn't afraid. You didn't come and save me. You didn't come and tell me to move away. He says, I did. No, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. I came with all those people telling you. I was in them telling you to move away. We have to have discrimination. See, we have to have discrimination. So once we use discrimination, then we have to sort out, like the milk from the water and things like that. So, but I do understand what you're saying, and I agree with you on that, I feel very bad and sad that out of the fear of COVID, people are not coming together and doing the bhajans and all. But there is a solution for that. Why can't you do it virtually? Why can't you hold the bhajans virtually, like we're holding Zoom like this right now? Isn't it possible to do that?
It is possible, but it doesn't. How do you? For me, it's not really. I want the physical experience.
I know. I totally understand.
Like
the one-on-one and the physical. Yes. I agree with you. I agree. Yeah. But here's the other thing. Another thing I'm getting right now from this is that here Swami is giving us an opportunity to go within ourselves, not to be in the crowd, not to be dependent on that. Because in the end, it's just him and us. It's just him and you see. So yes, that was there. It's like when we go to school, you see. We go to school and, we're learning and we're thinking, and then we go to college and then we go out into the world. Then we're not in school anymore. So if you look at the meetings and the bhajans and all that as a schooling that you went to, now you've grown up. You're a big boy now. So basically now Swami is saying, okay, now let me see what you have learned. Let me see what you learned in school. So now's the time that we go within ourselves. This is really the time to go deeper into our own consciousness, to rise higher, to really connect with ourselves. And once we can do that, then when we go back, when everything opens up, can you imagine how beautiful it will be? Because everyone will not be seeking from another, but they will be ready to give to another. You see, when we're looking for happiness from another, someone said to me, why you're a beggar asking another beggar? That person is also looking for the same thing. You see what I'm trying to say? So we have to stop being beggars. We have to become the givers. Let's become the givers, not the takers or the askers. Let us build the tree. Let us build the fruit in our tree. Let it ripen so that others can come and take of it. Forget about that. I am here to give. I don't want anything from you. I have the Lord. And for that, I will share another very quick story with you. It's a story that Swami himself told in Kodaikanal once. I love this story. And I live my life by this, by the way. And so this is a story where there was a king. And there was a king, and he was a very noble king. And his kingdom was very rich. And he was a rich king, noble king, good king. And he was very, he loved his, the people in his kingdom. So he said, I have so many riches. I am so this thing. I want to share it, with all the people in my kingdom. So he made a big announcement. And in the announcement, he said that I'm going to open the treasury. And each and every person from the kingdom can come and take one thing that they want. Could be a big diamond, a big emeralds, furniture, this, that, whatever you want, gold, whatever you want. Everyone can take one piece from the treasury. Everyone was thrilled and very happy. So there would be long lines, coming, and people were standing, and the king was very happy. There was a little window. He used to look through the window and be really happy when he saw his subjects coming and taking stuff and feeling very happy. And he used to see every day, one lady used to come. One lady would come every day. She would walk around, look at everything, and then leave empty-handed. And okay, fine. She doesn't like anything. And then 1 year passed. And this was now the last few of his subjects coming to get the thing. The whole kingdom had taken something or the other. Now he was watching. Again, that lady came. She was the last one. She came And again, she walked all around and she was leaving empty-handed. The king couldn't take it anymore. He says, "You see, this is not possible." He went running downstairs and he stopped that lady and he said to her, he said, "Stop, stop, stop." He says, "I have been watching you for the last 1 year. Every day you come and you look at things and you walk away empty-handed. Isn't there anything you like over here?" And she said, "Not really, king." So he says, "No, no, no, you have to take something, because if even one subject goes away empty-handed, this whole exercise of mine will be null and void. You must take something. You have to. There must be something here that you like." So she says, "Okay, probably some of you know the story." And so she looks at the cake and she says, "Well, actually, there is one thing I like." King was very excited, very happy. "Yes, yes, please, please tell me, I'll give it to you." He says, "No, king, you can't give that to me. I'm the king." He says, "I can give you anything." She says, "You can't give it to me." "Yes, yes, I can." She said, "All right then, king. Ask," he said. She said, "I only like one thing here." "What?" She said, "I like you." King was shocked. "Can I have you?" Because she said, "If I have you, I have all this." Swami was giving this story in Kodaikanal. We were just sitting there and he looked up and he says, "Ask for the creator, not creation. Once you have the creator, you have everything." And then he looked and very sweetly he said, with his head up like that, looking in the crowd, and the lady said to him, he says, "Where is that lady? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she?" It's like he was looking at someone. He said, "I only want you. Only ask for Swami. He will give you everything. He is everything. Why ask for all these things here?"
Oh, beautiful story. Beautiful story.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mahesh Bhai Kotecha, he wants
Thank you.
to say something.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm from Malawi. Sairam to everyone.
Sairam.
So nice to hear this pravachan this evening. And I would like to take up from Enrico in terms of COVID. And basically, we are a small group here in Malawi. And we've been, in the last 20 years, we've been doing bhajans at the local temple. Very small group, not even a baker's dozen, but we somehow managed for the last 20 years. The previous 25 years, there was a lady from Mangalore who had bhajans at her house for many, many, many years. So when she passed away, we took over. And when COVID happened, myself and my wife are regular and a few other friends who go on a Thursday. And we felt bad that COVID, Enrico, you said, things have not happened, the company and all that. We felt the same, being a very small group in a very small town. However, I stayed home on self-isolation with my wife, fearing that we might get COVID. So 3 months down the line, we realized that, no, this is not going to work. So on Thursday, my son stays next door to us, rather. And his two children, the daughter who is 7, our granddaughter, and the son who is 4. We started having them over every Thursday. And we started a bhajan group, 4 of us at home. Since that day till today, we've now got a bhajan mandali at our house. Bhajans every Thursday. The 2 young people look forward to the prasad, which my wife will make. And they will request every week, they want pero, they want this, they want that. Now, I can only say that you are right when you say that Swami has helped all of us during COVID in one way or the other, because he's opened up things for us which would have normally not happened. I believe because of school and the commitments my daughter-in-law has got, she would not allow the children to come to us with us to bhajans, because they at 6:30 in the evening. By the time we finish, it's 7:30. By the time we come home, it's 8 o'clock. So it'd be too late for them. But now they both sing at least a dozen bhajans without a book. In Hindi, we are Gujarati speaking. They don't speak Gujarati. They only speak English. Now, I can only see Sai's blessing. And I think COVID has, in his own way, blessed all of us. I know we lost family and friends. But at the same time, I believe that Sai had a message here for all of us. And I think it's brought many of us closer than we would have been. That's what I wanted to share with you all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because what I'm also trying to say is, let's look at the positive side of it. Let's only look at the positive. Even in human beings, when you meet someone, even out of, if they're being a certain way towards you, even out of their 10 qualities, if they have even one good quality, just focus on that good quality. And that good quality, the vibration of that quality will come towards you. It's what you focus on is what's going to come to you. Don't focus on his negative qualities. Only focus on the good quality. And that person will not be able to help it. That good quality only will come towards you. So in the same way with COVID, if you see what it is teaching us, how many lessons there are to learn in it.
So
if we can learn those lessons,
Yeah, we are running short of time.
Yes,
We're scheduled until 8:30, so we've got like a couple of minutes, so maybe we can just wind it down.
Maybe
Sorry
one last
about that.
question.
Yes.
Okay. So then if we are going to, there is one
Girish,
question.
Girish has a question.
Okay, Girish, bye. Quick one.
It's just been very nice to hear from you after such a long time. And it will
Thank
take
you.
It will take time. It will take a while for me to call you Miraji, because in my
Because
mind,
see, this name was given in the interview room specifically. I asked Swami, what is my name? And that's another long story. He gave me a 3-minute Padnamaskar where he gave me complete Diksha. And basically he was calling me Mira, because I was asking him, what is my name? Who am I? I had no idea after the death accident. And in the interview room itself, when he asked me officially, what is your name? I said, Aarti, and he said, no. And then he said, Mira, like that he called me. And then he started signing on his photograph and on Mira's photograph. And then I asked him, what is my last name? What is my family name? Sai. So he has given me his family name. Sai is my last name. So that is why it is Mira Sai, not even Mira. It is Mira Sai, because without Sai there is no Mira. There is no Mira. There is only Sai. Only Sai.
No, I just want to tell you, because you have become so eloquent, maybe after your NDE.
That's right. That's exactly, because this is not Aarti speaking. This is Mira Sai. This is Mira Sai, who is just the empty flute of our Lord. That's it, a hollow flute. There is a song we used to sing when I had the temple. I think in that, even if everyone joins, it doesn't matter. But I would like everyone to join. It's very simple. Then we can close with that. Is that okay, Arun Bhai?
Yes, sure.
Please don't mind my throat, because I've been speaking so much. It may not sound very good, but it goes like this. I'll do one line, you do after that second line, okay?
I just want to...
Okay, we'll start. Jai Jai Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Come on.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Okay, let's do one thing. I'll sing and you all mute yourselves, but sing along, but in your own place, so that it won't go off like that. Okay, we'll go like this. Jai Jai Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. 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 All is good, all is good, all is good. All is good, all is good, all is good. All is God, all is God, all is God. All is God, all is God, all is God. I am good, I am good, I am good. I am good, I am good, I am good. I am God, I am God, I am God. I am God, I am God, I am God. Jai Jai Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. 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 Jai Jai Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. So
My most humble pranams and loads of love to all of you beautiful souls, my brethren, my brothers, my sisters, my family. I love you. Swami loves you. He's with you. And thank you so much for taking out your time to have this beautiful satsang. Sai blessings to all of you. Sai blessings, Sai blessings, Sai
So
blessings.
Sai Ram, Mira
Yes,
Sai Bahan, thank you very much for taking the
Yes, sir.
time, sharing your experiences. And I would just like to tell everybody that what you heard is just a tip of the iceberg is the wrong expression. I think it's just if you can imagine the Swiss Alps or the Himalayas, and then you take one grain. So you've just heard one grain of her experiences. So there's a whole mountain waiting. So we hope to read your book soon, but maybe it'd be nice if we can organize another call and hear you and hear your experiences, because I'm sure everybody just simply loved it.
So Swami's grace, and the book actually also has been written by Swami, because it was written in 1997 in darshan, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night. In the evening darshan, I was writing for 1 year, just like I wasn't doing it. Swami was writing, because he kept saying to me, the story has to be told, story has to be told, story has to be told. And it was Aarti's story, which I don't remember much of anymore, because I'm not Aarti. And I've gone to the Himalayas. He sent me to Kailash Mansarovar twice. He saved my life in the snow in the Himalayas. He's had me bathe in freezing rivers, and it is lots and lots of amazing. Swami is with you. Swami is with you. I'd want next time I'll share the time where he saved me from the wolf dogs in the Himalayas. How he came and saved. Swami is, please, he hasn't gone anywhere. All I want to say to you, leave you with this message. He is with you even more than before. He's not gone anywhere. He's watching you. Believe me, he's watching you with a million eyes. He's watching you constantly, and he's loving you. He's just honing you. He's honing you. He wants you to go into your higher consciousness. He wants you to get out of the body consciousness. He wants you to connect with him in the way he said once, this is not my world. He says, mine is a spirit world. And you too are spirit. Connect with him in spirit. Please connect with him in spirit. I love you. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, MiraSai. Thank you, all the participants. The people who are living in other countries, you also can organize a Zoom meeting with MiraSai. She is always ready for all of you. So if you want to organize something in your own countries with your other Sai friends and Sai families, you can contact her directly, and she's ready to give you a Zoom meeting. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Sai Ram, thank you for joining. It was wonderful.
Jai Sai Ram.
And Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Arun Bhai. Thank you, Prema. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Our father, our Sai.
Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, everyone. Om Sai Ram.
Thank you.
Om
Thank
Sai
you
Ram.
so much. Can we share this
Come here.
satsang?
Yes.
Can we share this satsang? Can you put it on YouTube?
Yes, I'm sure it should be all right. Yes.
Huh?
Yes,
Yes?
yes, yes,
That
yes,
would be
yes.
great. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
That
Sai
was
Ram.
amazing. That was really amazing.
Mira
Thank
Sai
you so
Bahan,
much.
now you can see my
Sai
sister
Ram.
Dipti from Tanzania.
Okay.
Dipti.
I want to thank Swami. I'm sitting at his lotus feet. As you can see how beautiful he's looking from the back. He's smiling
Yes,
at all of you.
smiling.
He's loving you. And I'm thanking you, Swami. I'm at your lotus feet. And thank you for this wonderful, wonderful joining together, coming together with all your beautiful children. Thank you, Swami.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mirabai.
Sai Ram.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Sai
you.
Ram.
Thank you all.
Sai
Thank you
Ram,
all.
Ditiben,
That
Good night.
Sai
was
Ram.
really the best satsang I ever heard.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all sign, my dears. It's all sign. It's only him.
Sai
All
Ram.
glory to sign. All
All
glory to sign.
glory to
All glory to sign. Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai
Jai
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai